Hey guys, number one, I want to say thank you so much for the subscriptions that we've had recently. We crossed over that 2,500 subscription mark on our YouTube page, and I think that's pretty momentous. So I wanted to share a video with you guys. So thank you very much for liking, comment, and subscribing. We're getting a great community down there in the comment section, and I'm proud to be a part of it and continue to deliver some content like this. I want to talk about getting started with Adeptus Custodes in this video. Now, you might have heard that the Adeptus Custodes are a low model count army because their things have a decently high point value assigned to them because these are big, burly, beefy models. You know, multiple wounds, 2+ armor save, invulnerable save, crazy weapons and stuff. They are the Emperor's finest, and they come with a little bit of a price tag. But I want to talk specifically about a patrol detachment, about how you might get a small amount of figures and start working them into your Imperial armies. Or you just play low point games. Who knows? The patrol detachment is very approachable, and I'll tell you why. The shield captain is the HQ or one of the HQ choices for the Adeptus Custodes, and you can take this guy on one of the Dawn Eagle jetbikes and build him right out of the Dawn Eagle jetbike kit when you're able to get your hands on that. It's going to go up for pre-order soon. And in there, it comes with 3 Dawn Eagle jet bikes. If you want to make 2 shield captains out of that, and maybe use the other one for a different unit, I think that's well within your right. Because when I want to explain that this guy is 160-ish points, depending on how you equip him, and he's got a 14-inch movement. And if you put hurricane bolters on there, it's going to allow him to jump that 14 inches, threaten a small unit, and then charge another unit. He's got an area of effect buff ability, just like a captain does, to where you can reroll 1s within 6 inches of him for Adeptus Custodes. He hits on 2s, so his 5 attacks hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s for himself, are pretty much always going to hit. And then the Interceptor Lance, the lance that he has, and by the way, look at this massive lance. This lance here, on the turn that you charge, you're able to reroll wounds. So he's coming in at a high strength, that it buffs his strength, neg to armor save, and is doing D3 wounds. And so what this guy's capable of doing is, it may look like he has kind of medium size, not a thunderhammer, but he is coming in with strength 5, re-rolling wounds on the charge, and doing D3 damage apiece with a neg 3 armor save. So it is absolutely no slouch in combat. Plus he gets to buff himself, his weapons get to buff himself, and with the hurricane bolters you are threatening some multiple units. So you'll see here in the front, those are the hurricane bolters right there. For me, I don't think that it was too easy to sub out that weapon. There's also a missile variant that could go there. I think the hurricane bolters is ultimately more competitive right now. That was my read on it. But if you do want to sub in the missiles, I believe you're going to have to get creative with magnets, or use one of the models in the kit to give you your missile guy, and then you got 2 heavy bolter or hurricane bolter guys. The lance. It's such a beefy kit. You can see on Twitter, and I may have posted this on Facebook too, the comparison to a normal bike. It's half again the size of a normal bike. So you're just going to get that. And then with that, they say that lance is being as massive as it is, I think it's going to have a real inspiring presence on the battlefield. It has that whole kind of Samael look to them with their flowing things that go over the exhaust. And anyway, it's cool they kind of kept that same aesthetic, I think. I do believe that the Hurricane Bolters is the best build right now, but who knows what's going to work for you. It's certainly, I think, the least expensive build, and we're talking about getting started with the Custodes. So in a patrol detachment that we're talking about specifically also, you want to take the Custodian Guard, and these are the troops. Now, a unit of 3 of them, that's the minimum squad. That's different from the index, I believe. But a unit of 3 is, depending on how you equip them, you're going to be over 150 points. Now, that sounds like a lot, but remember, these guys have 3 wounds apiece, a 2+ armor save, and an invulnerable save, and a weapon that, again, no slouch in combat. You could even give them an additional, the sword that we talked about on the podcast, that gives them an extra attack in combat. So when they do get into combat, they're going to do a lot of damage. They're going to be good at killing things with high toughnesses, good armor, and chafe alike. I think that they're a really strong unit, and people are going to have a hard time digging them out. Again, because they only have, there are only 3 models in this case that we're talking about, but they do have 3 wounds and a 2+ armor save and an invulnerable save. So that's, Again, it all adds up to them really sticking around. With just a little bit of luck or average dice on your part, these guys are going to stick around for a long time. But that brings me to the part that you can now add in, since you've got this patrol detachment, you could potentially add in elites, heavies, and flyers, so you can kind of build up over time. But I've chosen to go ahead and stick in this Vexilus Praetor. And I'm using it. Remember, we're taking the 3-man squad out of the Custodian Guard. The Praetor is built right out of that Custodian Guard box. So you take your box of 5, you build one of them with the standard. You get the Vexilus Praetor is the guy that comes with the standard that allows you to reroll failed morale test, which is pretty cool. And I'll tell you why it's even better here in just 1 second. But I've also, just for sake of points, not points, but for utility, I've chosen to want to arm him with the axe. This is not the Praetor guy, but that's an example of the axe. This giant. By the way, this is the main character, Trajan Valoris, from the set here, from the Codex. He is a head taller than Primaris Space Marines. Is a true beast. You can see there, this is the guy that had the lion on his cloak. That was one of the rumor engine picks, was the lion. I don't know if you can see that quite in the camera, but again, he is a head taller than even a Primaris Space Marine captain, and again, just very much an inspiring presence. These guys have just such an epic feel to them, as the Hand of the Emperor should. So if you take this guy in your army, the Vexilus Praetor with the standard, you have to choose what extra benefit that he gets from the standard. The standard automatically comes with the reroll morale test. Then you choose one other benefit, and it says when you include in your army, you make this choice. So that leads me to believe if we're playing, in a tournament, you'd have to pick an army-less generation and not from game to game. I mean, of course, check with your own tournament organizer about how they rule that kind of thing. But I think in anything that says when you include it in your army, that's the way you kind of have to at least interpret it, in my opinion. But as you might imagine, coming from the vaults of Terra, the Adeptus Custodes have a lot of relics. One of those relics is a standard that you're able to replace the Vexilus Praetor standard with one that allows Imperium units, not just Adeptus Custodes, but any Imperium, biker, or infantry units to automatically pass their morale. So I know that we just had a bunch of talk not that long ago about what commissars did as a community had this talk about what commissars do for conscripts, essentially auto-passing morale, and how powerful that was for just the time and then what it takes to dig them out, and how many turns a game may go, or whatever. I mean, it becomes a time resource, a turn. I shouldn't say because time might seem like it's indicating like a slow play, but I'm not. It's the number of turns are finite, so that is a resource, and you only have so many turns to dig these guys out. And when they're auto passing morale, that could be a big thing. And now even not a lot of things get morale immunity anymore. Like even the Death Company still have to take morale test, but this guy and it has the staff has another ability too. But the standard here gives them the ability to auto-pass morale. And that's a relic. Now remember, relics are free, so it's keeping this guy on the cheap. Now the Praetor comes in 2 versions. It's got one that's in the Terminator armor, like the bulky, beefy Terminator armor that comes with a grenade launcher, and that grenade launcher is pretty good. So I don't know what the best version of this guy is, depending on how you want to use him, but he does have the ability to have a little bit of counter-assault, and he can back up your fleet of awesome cateching conscripts, because they're stronger and stuff. But I think that for getting started here with this unit, or this detachment of Custodes, we're looking, depending on how you equip them, a little bit more than 400 points. So easy to fit into a lot of units, especially out of a lot of cheap gunline type units, or not even that hard to fit into like a Space Marine unit, because you're going to get a lot of attack power out of your shield captain, and a lot of objective holding power from the rest of your army. Now, I'm not saying that you should get these guys just to have them sit there and hold objectives, but that might win the game. And if you're going to be spending points on anything, you want it to be how to get towards winning the game. But in celebration of the subs and the likes and everything, thank y'all very much. I wanted to just do this quick getting started with Custodes video. Hopefully it's going to kind of help you line up maybe what you want to get, or maybe what your buddy might be playing against you in the next tournament or coming up. Thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe. See you guys soon.